Assalamu alaikum guys. So today I'm gonna show you how to make honeycomb plus condensed milk. So first things first, you're gonna need your ingredients. So you're gonna need some sugar, plain flour, milk, eggs, instant yeast or fast action yeast, sesame seeds, unsalted butter, and a block of cheese. So first things first, I'm going to mix my wet ingredients by starting with half a cup of warm milk, a quarter cup of warm water, and some butter, about a quarter cup of melted butter. And then I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of sugar, and last but not least I'm gonna add in some yeast, half a pack of the instant yeast. Then I'm just going to mix this up, and then I'm going to let it sit aside and wait for the yeast to bloom. Next, I'm going to get started with my dry ingredients. I'm going to use 2 cups of plain flour and a little bit of salt, like about a pinch of salt, and then I'm just going to mix them both together. And I'm going to go ahead and check on my yeast mixture after like 10-15 minutes, and then mix it a little bit, and then add 1 egg. So I had already mixed my egg in, and then I'm just gonna mix everything together, that yeast mixture with the egg. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is basically add the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. So I'm just gonna pour that in my flour, and then I'm just gonna basically just mix everything together. And you will find that the mixture or the batter that you make from this is quite sticky and still a little bit wet. So what you're gonna do is get about a cup of flour and slowly incorporate it into that butter. So you're gonna keep on adding that flour until you form a ball. So you'll add it slowly and keep kneading and mixing it until you get a ball of dough. So this is me trying to knead with one hand, since I'm holding my camera with the other hand. So I'm just gonna try and knead this on a surface, a flat surface, and I'm just using the same flour that I have in the cup to apply on the surface and just continue kneading until I made that ball. And I just covered it up and I let my flour sit aside for about an hour. Meanwhile, I got started with making my condensed milk. So I put in 1 cup of milk and about a third cup of sugar in a saucepan, and this is currently on low to medium heat. And I just basically started by stirring in that sugar until the sugar completely dissolved, and then I just let the mixture boil and simmer for about 20 to 30 minutes. And once that was done, I just set it aside to let it cool. And this is how it looked like once it was cold. It wasn't a lot of it, I mean a lot of condensed milk, but it's enough for what I'm going to use it for. So next I just prepared my baking tray or cake tray that I'm gonna use, and I just greased it with some butter and poured a little bit of flour all over. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is check on my dough, and as you can see it has risen, so I just punched it down and then I kneaded it a little bit. And once that was done, I just basically started dividing my dough. So I took a big knife that will cut it through, and I just basically cut the dough into a half, then I cut it like into quarters, and then I cut it to make 8 pieces of dough. And I continued doing this till I had about 16 pieces of dough, and this is them separated because it was still quite sticky, but it's fine. The next thing I did was spreading the doughs a little bit and then putting a little bit of cheese inside and then covering it up until I made a little round ball like so. So basically this is it with the cheese inside, and there you go. So I just made several of these. I think there were about 16 pieces as I had cut them, and then I just arranged them in my baking tray or my cake tray, and then I did a little bit of egg wash with one egg and a little bit of water, like a dash of water, and using tissue. If you have a brush, you can use a brush, but I don't have one, so I'm using tissue, and I'm just gonna cover the rolls with a little bit of the egg, and then I'm going to pour some sesame seeds on top of them. And the next thing I'm going to do is just put them in the oven at 190 degrees Celsius, and this is how they're gonna look like once they come out of the oven. The next thing I'm gonna do is just basically pour the condensed milk that I made earlier on top of the bread rolls, and ta-da, you basically have your honeycomb ready, and you can enjoy this with some chai or juice or anything you want to eat them with. It's up to you. I just quickly wanted to show you guys how the honeycomb looks inside. So as you can see, it's really nice and soft, and the cheese has beautifully melted. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.